Good evening, folks. I'm here to discuss the reflections I've been thinking about on my visit to the memorial this year. Very strange experience. Very strange indeed. And very unpleasant. Walking in, it was very crowded, and there was a young man greeting me at the entrance to the main auditorium, and didn't have a tie on, so that was I thought that's a bit strange. And he was just someone they were obviously on a Bible study with or something, and encouraging him to greet everybody. And it was, it was a very nice young man, but I felt ever so sorry for him. I really did. I thought, why? You're not going to get any joy here, mate. No joy at all. All you're going to get here is people telling you you've got to be a certain way. And that's it. Oh, and God's going to kill you if you don't. That's the reality of these people. So this poor fella greeted me, and then I went and got my seat. And then the elders came up to me and asked who I was and what my name was and where I was from, and etc., pumping me for information. And I actually assumed that I was part of the old crew there, which was a bit weird. They thought I was someone from the regional committee or something for building, but I just said I wasn't. I said I'd heard a lot about them, wanted to come and check them out, which was true. And so I sat there and listened to all their spiel during the memorial talk, and I partook of the driest, most horrible bread I've ever eaten, and I drank some moderately nice wine, a few sips because I was driving, and then afterwards I spoke to quite not everybody there by all means, but I spoke to about 4 elders, I believe, and about the child protection policy and about the 2-witness rule and lots of other things. And they were trying to give me the old, oh yeah, it happens everywhere. How many times, folks, have we heard that? Happens everywhere. Happens everywhere. Well, unfortunately, these monsters and criminals do exist everywhere, but not every organisation has a policy that protects them. So I was able to speak to them about the 2-witness rule and about the Secret Elders book. And the best moment, I think, was when I was talking to a JW woman, and there was a guy who came up halfway through the conversation, one of the elders, and I'm telling her about the 2-witness rule and about the Australian Royal Commission case study 29, and she's listening, but attentively listening to what I've got to say, which is good. And then he turns up and obviously clocks that I'm talking about an issue that he doesn't want to talk about, and he's smiling away at me, and the smile's telling me, I wish I could get rid of you. And I completely ignore it. I interpret the smile as, oh, he wants me to carry on talking, of course. And I carry on talking to this woman. Oh, we must be going now. And off they went. But I got to speak to that woman about that. And I got to speak to one elder who came up to me immediately after the thing had ended. And he was trying to start talking to me about the Eucharist and all that kind of stuff. And I said, no, I don't understand about that. It just says in the Bible to partake. Whenever it's mentioned, it's keep doing this or do this in remembrance. And so that's what I did. And he just accepted that. And then I got talking to him about the concerns I had about the court cases and about the Australian Royal Commission. All of these things are verifiable facts. They like to say that we apostates talk lies, but actually these are verifiable facts. We don't need to lie. We don't need to make up lies about the Watchtower. In reality, they do so many awful things that they condemn themselves. All we have to do is tell them what they're doing. And once they realise that these things are true, well then they've got to make a choice, haven't they? About what they want to do about that. And so I was able to speak also to another couple of elders about things, about the child protection policy and so forth, and about the concerns I had there. And then I was speaking to the old sisters, the old ladies that populate every Kingdom Hall that I've ever been in my entire life. And I think they were the most chilling. The first one I spoke to really, really upset me. And I was trying to be deliberately calm and conciliatory in the sense of my tone of voice, and not agreeing with them when I disagreed, but agreeing politely, but still clearly and strongly. And she got very upset by this, actually. Didn't like it at all. So, and she said to me, "Oh, there was a case of child abuse in my congregation years ago." And I said, "Have you phoned the police about it?" "Oh no, this was years ago. She's a grandmother now." And just the attitude of it. Didn't phone at the time, of course, and won't phone now. Oh, it's all water under the bridge. And then I spoke to her about the man who was convicted of child molestation in Wallington, which is very close to where I live. And he was there at a time when I was sharing that congregation, that hall, with that congregation. And I could have been a victim. I probably would have known the young girls that he molested. And again, such indifference. They have been taught to be cowards and to expect their God to fix things in 5 minutes' time, because everything's 5 minutes' time, isn't it? Oh, it's just around the corner. We're not going to look after people now because God's going to fix it. That's the best of them. And the worst of them are the criminals, or know the criminals, or getting something out of it and don't want the gravy train derailed. They're the worst of them, including the disgusting people who commit these crimes in the first place. Absolutely disgusting. So I went in there, I partook, I spoke to people afterwards about the child molestation, about the two-witness rule being applied to everything, about the Australian Royal Commission, and about some other things. And then, after I'd spoken to those people, I went home. I hope that when I spoke to those people would have resonated, would have gone in. One of the elders I spoke to, I think, was actually giving me a hearing ear. And I hope that some good may have come of that, at least with him. So what did I accomplish? Well, I went in there and I accomplished the goal that I set myself, because I said that I would do it, and I like to keep my word. I said I would attend the memorial and protest, and I did. I did it in my way. I achieved the goals I set, and as I say, I hope some good will come of it. And I would just like to say that for all those out there who've done anything in terms of activism against the Watchtower, thank you for doing that. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. And to those who would criticise and complain and insult, I'd like to see what you have done. I'd like to see your memorial video. I'd like to see your video series. I'd like to see your letter that you've written to your MP. I'd like to see all of the things that you're doing to help bring this cult down. Because it's very easy to sit there with an anonymous name, with an anonymous picture, and be rude to people. Very easy. Simple. Not quite as easy to build people up. Not quite as easy to be supportive. So, to those who would criticise, and you're perfectly entitled to your opinion, I'd like you to show me how to do it better. And to those who have been insulting, well, do what you want. I don't really care. But there are people out there who you may insult them and you don't know their mental state. So I would ask you to please think about that. Everyone in this community has been hurt by this cult. So why don't we all think about how our words are going to be taken? It doesn't mean that we can't speak our minds. It's not that. It's speaking our minds and our points of view very clearly and thoroughly, but in a way that isn't insulting. Let's give that a go and see how that works out. Anyway, as I said, I achieved the goals I set out to do. The people who I spoke to heard what I had to say. Hopefully it will help. And I would just like to say thank you to everyone who's been supportive of me. I'd like to say thank you to everyone out there who went and did something this memorial. I think all of you are very brave and decent people. So thanks very much for giving us an example to follow. I think that's about all I would like to say. If anyone's got any questions, put them in the comments and I shall attempt to answer them. Anyway, with that I shall simply say, peace be with you, Excelsior!